What's up, y'all? Here's a quick recap of last week.
Hurricane Maria hit the island of Puerto Rico in 2017, the very night that I'm releasing my second book, Drop the Stones. And there's this big picture of me in Barnes and Nobles, and I'm doing signings for my book, and I feel really spiritual. And I literally practice in the mirror, like, chapter 4, loving like the Lord, right? After that, a friend of mine who was a missionary in the Middle East called me and said, don't waste your life being a talking head. Who cares about your book? Like, go live it. Go back to Puerto Rico. That was really the come to Jesus moment where either the platform with the book, or it was either the island and the need. And we moved back to Puerto Rico.
Welcome back to part 2. I'm so happy you're here. Let's dive in where we left off.
Yeah, because I saw that on your
Good.
page, and I was curious. Did you have a like I said earlier? My moment of inclusion happened through her family, but did you have a situation specifically that made you feel like, man, this exclusatory way, this VIP Christianity type thing is not the way? Like, was there something specific, or did it just gradually grow as you continue to shed the chains of typical Christianity or American Christianity?
Well, to be honest with you, I grew up in a home that was, again, a lot of brokenness. So both of my parents are in this second marriage, and I'm the firstborn of the second marriage. So I have two sisters from my dad's first side. This is classic Puerto Rican. I got two sisters from my dad's first side. I got one sister from my mom's first marriage, and then I got Carlos and Carla, my younger sister, and then we have an adopted sister, Cristal. So it's 5 girls and me.
Wow.
And we're at the table, and we're not allowed to use half sister language. I was 17 when my brain was like, oh, my dad's my sister's stepdad, not her actual dad. Like I couldn't even process. So in a bizarre way, my family always, through the pain and the brokenness, always the table is open for all. Like we lived the gospel without even knowing we were, without being able to verbalize that kind of theology. Like we're all Rodriguez Sostre. We all belong. There's always food at the table, no matter what. And so, to be honest with you, I was always way more inclined towards being inclusive and welcoming, and like all these ridiculous lines that we draw on the ground. I learned all that in the church. I was discipled into thinking my gay brothers and sisters, they were going to hell for eternity for loving who they love. Like I was discipled into that. That was not natural to me. I was discipled really well into that, where I became one that would verbalize that himself in big platforms with thousands of people on the crowd. And so the deconstruction was actually almost going back to the original design of any child's hearts of welcome and inclusion. And right, like if you talk to any kid, that's how they think. Like that's by nature who we humans are. It was Nelson Mandela who says you need to teach hate. Love is natural, hate is taught. And it's kind of wild that it is the gospel that is being used to teach hate. And it's really, really wild that there was a season of my life where I was part of that. And so, there's a lot of self-forgiveness and there's a lot of, I feel like a responsibility. Like if I was so loud with that, I want to now disciple into love and welcoming, disciple myself, my family, let others disciple me like Victoria did that day. Tú eres Leo, are you a Leo? And I'm like, this woman knows something.
I love that. I think that's I think that's such a beautiful position to be in, because it really is an opportunity to rewrite your story or the legacy, really, because the legacy is now being built on this new, fresh idea of just service. Like, and now I'm assuming, would you consider what you're doing? Do your church, quote unquote?
Or we, some people say ministry, some people, we're a nonprofit organization that allows us to be as wide open as possible.
Yeah.
We have churches that come and serve. We also have a Muslim community here close by that's connected to us.
Beautiful.
I have people that have completely left the church. They want nothing to do with church, but they were part of churches that always did their missionary trip, their summer kind of like missions. So they have that itch that they like to scratch, and they want to experience it in a context that doesn't have that, again, that load of you have to get them saved and you have to get them to fill that card. And so we are as open as we literally, the statement is the table is open for all that need and for all that want to serve. And so the beautiful thing about what we do here is that it is a local team. So when we have people that have been discipled into the white savior mentality, and they come here and they're like, this is how we're going to do it, and this is the gospel we're preaching, and these are the tools that we're using, we're like, sorry, like this is our home.
Yeah.
This whole concept of love your neighbors, you know, Victoria is actually my neighbor.
Right.
Like I have to drive by her house to get to my house. And so the concepts that want to be more colonial, it's like colonialism, in a nicer way, they don't fly here because it's a local team leading local work, serving local people. And so it's like you're coming to our house and we're letting you into our home and we're serving you at the table, and somos boricua, so we're gonna serve you good food, and we're gonna take you to Old San Juan, and you're gonna love what we're doing here. But you're not coming to establish your theology, your rule, it's not gonna happen. And so,
ironically, it sounds like you're being more a church than. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it just sounds
don't
more
tell
like
my mom and dad. Don't tell my mom and dad.
it
They're
sounds like the Acts church. Like people
Yeah.
always ask me, you know, when they're like, "Do you go to a formal church anymore?" And I'm like, "I haven't. I'll go, but I don't consider a formal church home anymore because, I don't know if I can call that church anymore. At least in what I've experienced, and not because I think they're not doing godly things, but for me, what church has become is what you're talking about. Living with people that have a common faith, but that are willing to serve and do life with each other.
Yeah.
And that does not exist within the confines of a church. When I did real church and I was there, 4 times a week, bruh, the amount of people that talked to me from that church that I spent a decade in, 0.
I know.
Nobody checks in on me. Nobody sees how I'm doing. It's just not that. And it hit me like, oh, okay, this is not the church. This is not me going to church. This is people playing a version of church. And that's not negative to them. It's just they're doing what they were taught in this Americanized system. So if I'm not in church anymore, the first thought is I'm backslidden or I'm away from God. Whereas to me, I found what real church is, which is a community of people that are actually doing life together, and we don't have to posture like we're holy. We just live like we're holy, and that's not based on the language we use or the amount of times that we've gone to church or the amount that we're doing this or that seems like holy acts. It really just stems from the belief that in and of ourselves, we cannot make ourselves any more holy, but we accept this grace that's been so freely given, and so we freely give it away. And it's that simple. The gospel should be simple. The second the gospel starts getting complicated, or you start feeling like you don't know what it is, then I think you're doing it wrong.
Yeah, it truly should be that simple. And the problem is, the more tribal you get as a church, the better you do. That's the bizarre thing, because we're all looking to belong somewhere. And the way to get people to feel like they belong somewhere is by drawing really clear lines about what you believe, how you dress, what music you listen to, how you listen to that music, how you respond when you're listening to that music. And so in a really bizarre way, the more that you isolate, right, the easier it is to say to people like, this is how you belong. Oh, I can quickly belong, because I feel so like I don't belong at work and with my own family. And so you're giving me these parameters of belonging, how to believe, how to do the prayer, I would say half of my sermons were drawing lines about some people pray like this, but really the Bible says you should pray like this. Let's all pray that way. And if people really liked it, then I turned that into a book, a sermon series, and it's just all these lines we're drawing. There's no room for maybes. There's no room, I don't know. There's no room for Victoria's right, and I'm the one who's wrong. And it, unfortunately, it works because it makes it quick. It's a quick entry point. If I do this prayer, if I dress this way, and if I sing this song from this band, not this other one, because their theology is not really good, this one, then I'm already included. And feeling like you belong at least once a week, it's a powerful thing. And it's a power, and we know from science that when you get into a crowd of people and everybody's singing the same song, it's like a legitimately beautiful, important experience.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't want to disregard at all the experience of church, even though I'm not actively all the time in a church. But when I go, man, and they're singing, I surrender all, and everybody's singing it
Yeah.
at the same time, and the hairs go beep, and, and I feel like I belong to this community of people. Like, I get it. I
Yeah.
really do. And so, how do you do that without all these rules and regulations determined by the one guy who calls himself the anointed one, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the tricky part. And so we feel, at least here at the nonprofit, we do that with food. We have this thing called the dignity checklist, which is what we want everybody to experience in our community. Everybody has good, healthy food. Everybody can rest, so they have a good mattress. Everybody feels safe in their home. They have a nice roof over their heads. Everybody has community, so we do community events. We have this really simple checklist. We call it the dignity checklist. And for us, dignities are non-negotiable. If we can treat each other with dignity, and if we can bring dignity into our community that's been broken by so many things, that's a simpler, more rewarding kind of place of inclusion that is not excluding others, is actually trying to include more people.
It sounds so much easier.
It's beautiful.
It sounds so much easier. Like that sounds like a very easy theology to follow.
It sound okay, yes, but also here's the challenge, especially in American culture. It's so much easier to just show up on Sunday.
It is.
For an hour and a half, put on a cute outfit.
Yeah.
Maybe you see a cute boy there or a cute girl there. You know what I mean? Listen to the pastor, sing 5 songs, listen to the pastor's message. Maybe stop by the coffee shop on the way out, shake a couple hands. That's easier. You know what I mean? Like that, especially in American culture, to check it off. We did it. We did our part. We showed up. Maybe you did get some goosebumps that day and you're like, ooh, this week was good. You know,
this week was good.
So it's like, yes, it's less complicated. Like it's a clearer gospel of like, this is what we're supposed to be doing, but it takes self-sacrifice. It takes work. It takes when you're tired, you still show up, you feed people. It takes, instead of buying this to make yourself more comfortable, you buy this so that this person can have some dignity. You know what I mean? So it's, I think that's the challenge, is to get people to self-sacrifice and get a little uncomfortable to help others. That's the hard part.
And I think I don't blame anybody that has been born and raised in a Christian bubble that, this is what you do, this is how you do it, this is when you do it, this is whatever. I mean, I can't judge, because again, I was one preaching it, actually create the creation of those bubbles. And it does, as you say, it is harder at the beginning, but the rhythm of it is easier. The rhythm of grace and love, because it's lighter. That's what, maybe it's not easier, but it's lighter. I think that's the best way to say it. It's not easier.
Isn't that a scripture? My yoke is light or something?
Take my yoke is light.
There's somewhere around there. Goosebumps.
Didn't Jesus say something about yoke being light?
Yeah, something like that. He sure did. And he did say that it is better to give than to receive. But when you are born and raised literally for getting and for receiving, then giving is much harder. But once you get in the rhythm of giving, once you get into, and we're called the happy givers, because in a bizarre way that forces us to be happy givers. Is like, we got to live up to the name, guys. Yo, that's our name. Happy givers. So, but it's like muscle memory. It's like waking up to go to the gym. At the beginning, it's like whatever, and then you find the serotonin and then the rush of the run and the rush of the growth and the health that you feel throughout the day. And giving becomes that. It's like, it is harder, but it is lighter. And
Yeah.
so we've discovered the beauty of it. And again, I've gained more because I have Victoria and Migdalia and Justina. I got so many moms cooking rice and beans for me. I don't even have to cook anymore. I got Doña Carmen in our social kitchen, and it's just like this generosity and this abundance in the lack, because there's legitimate need in our community. I'm talking, I have elderly people that we're dealing with like diseases in their skin that is like, what is happening? Diabetes and heart conditions because their diet is so bad. And they lost stuff in Hurricane Maria, and we just had Hurricane Fiona last year, and they're still struggling. There's people going hungry. There's, we've lost so many of our community, younger people. A lot of our older people are by themselves. I'm not trying to like make it like it's so nice now that we're here. Actually, we keep discovering more need and more situations that require us to continue to find the joy of giving. And so I'm not saying it's easy, but I definitely sleep better. I can say that. And my family definitely sleeps better. And we feel good about the work that we're doing. And we can honestly say we feel rewarded by the love and the care and the rice and beans and the plantains and the biggest avocados you've ever seen. Every time I go to an American supermarket and see those little things you get, it's just shameful. It's shameful. Ours is this big.
No way.
So that big. We're in the season next month. You guys come over next month. It's insanity.
I do want to come. I need to make another trip because no doubt when I landed there, I immediately felt like, oh, my people, because
people clap when you land on the plane. You gotta start clapping. That's a classic Puerto Rican move. San Juan Airport.
It's so
lovely.
dope. I mean, just learning about my heritage, because I was one of those people that didn't, I was born and raised in Germany, so I didn't get to know about my Puerto Rican heritage. So as I learned about it, it became very, very, like, I felt embarrassed that I didn't know about our past and what we've been through in our history. And so it made me even more proud of that. But
you should be. Your family's from Bayamón, la ciudad del chicharrón. It's literally famous for pork rinds. Chicharrón. Like,
my mom always used to eat that too.
Because she's from Bayamón, bro. She's got no choice. Bayamón, la ciudad del chicharrón. And the ultimate best rum in the world is from Bayamón.
Really?
It's called Ron Barrilito. It's like out of this world, delicious and smooth. And so that's like not even 20 minutes from here. So you have amazing history running through your blood.
Yeah.
Wonderful creativity, passion. We work the land. We love people. We are by nature welcoming people, right? Like that is who we are. We love the table to be set for everybody, and who cares how they look and what they think, what they believe. Like everybody's welcomed.
That's so interesting, because that's kind of our mantra here at Nights. Like I got the idea from King Arthur and the Round Table, and how the story of why it was a round table was because when he met with his knights, he didn't want there to be a head at the table. When they met, it was all them and everybody was equal. And so the whole idea, and the whole idea of Nights is the same thing. Is everybody, I always say in my descriptions, pull up a chair. Everyone's invited, because it really is. There is no head at this table. It really is about hearing every voice and acknowledging every person in their experience, And I think it's beautiful what you said. Your family knows what it's like to be this new way. And we're about to have a baby, and I've talked to Ange about stuff.
I'm so jealous. I miss babies.
Oh, right.
My kids are 12, 11, and 10, and I'm just like, can I undo my vasectomy and go? Like, can we just get one more?
Oh man, see, and I'm excited to test all of these theories. Like I've been telling her, we stopped celebrating Christmas the year we got married.
Not celebrating Christmas, celebrating
the way of Christmas, like giving gifts.
The American way of just.
Yeah, her and I are just like, we have everything that we need.
We celebrate it.
We just buy things for other people. You know what I'm saying? I have this thing that I do for my birthday. I don't get gifts. I buy gifts for the people that come to my party or my dinners, And so I told, oh no, we lost him. Oh, we lost him.
Oh no.
And we're live. I'll keep going. Let me see if we can get, oh, there he goes. Okay, you're back.
That's that Puerto Rican internet right there.
Lost electricity.
Yeah.
I'm sending out.
But you
It's
got
crazy.
back quick. But I was telling Ange, I was like, babe, how do we raise this kid to not be entitled? Like, I'd love to teach them that Christmas, and every time I say this, certain people are like, oh, but you're gonna rob them of like whatever. And I'm like, I don't really care of robbing them of entitlement or feeling like
It'll
they
be
should
fine.
get something. I
It'll be
want to teach
fine.
them
Yeah.
that this is the season to give. Every season is to give. Like for us,
Sure.
Christmas is every day. There's never been a day in our marriage where it's like if we want something, we couldn't just go get it.
Yeah,
So because it's that way, I think we're obligated to be like, all right, how can we help people and never deny that extension of help? You know what I'm saying? Even when it burns us, because it's burned me a lot. Like I've been burned a lot and lost a lot of friends.
If it's all about intentionality, like with our kids, because this is our world, this nonprofit, like, okay, once a week, let's go to the farm. Let's mow the lawn. One Sunday, let's go see Justina, who's this older lady in her 80s who's by herself. Her whole family's out of Puerto Rico. Let's spend the day with her, clean up a little bit, play with her rabbits,
Wow.
eat some of her pumpkin soup, and take her some. And it's just about being intentional.
Yeah.
Because parenting books are so overrated because it's just like every family, you figure it out yourself as long as you're intentional. And so we as a family, we really love the fact that we're raising our kids in this community and we're being intentional about exposing them to the actual need in the community. And to them, it's not even it's not a black and white thing. This is where we live. These are our neighbors. This is who we love. This is what we do. This is how we serve. And so as long as you're intentional, you got it. It's phenomenal. It's fun.
That's
you
good
do
to know.
you, booze.
That's good to know because we're in the thick of it right now, trying to figure it all out. So we're like,
I mean, she's not even here yet. She's almost here. We got 1 month. Almost
so jealous.
A little bit over a month is what we have. And I definitely started already like freaking out a little bit, being like, oh my gosh, like I don't know anything. We have nothing prepared. Like, how do we do this? What are we even doing? I have my moments like that, but
yeah,
I'm not freaked out. I'm more scared that I'm going to continue to be selfish because I get so mad.
You won't have a choice, bro.
Oh,
you won't have a choice.
I do not like it.
They suck it out of you. All the selfishness. You won't even have a choice.
I hope so. I'm down for that because I get mad at myself. I'm like, oh, why am I still thinking this way? I need to like let go of all this selfishness.
Manuel, I had a cousin here visiting at Christmas time, and I wrote Anjelah about her. Her name is Cristina Feliu. That's my first cousin. She went to school with you when you were doing.
Oh wait, you talking about this? Her last name is Merrick's now.
Yeah, she's Merrick's now. Yeah, she married Sherman. Yeah, that's my
Sherman
first cousin.
Really?
Yeah, that's my first cousin.
Oh no, that's
Christina
my girl.
Sherman.
I
Yeah,
used to.
right.
Oh, that's crazy.
She married Sherman. They have 3 beautiful kids, and she was here. It was so random. She was here visiting. We went to the beach. We had a lovely time together. We've always been good friends. And she was listening to the pod, and I was like, and she's like, "Aren't you friends with them? Don't you know them?" I'm like, "We kind of know each other from Twitter. We don't really." And then she told me the whole story of going to school with you guys and whatnot. So,
oh wow, that's so beautiful. I did not know that.
Love
Small
from
world.
her.
I love it.
She's lovely.
I have
She's
a question
lovely.
about Happy Givers.
Please.
Y'all's merch is fire.
Thank you. You've been so great at helping us with that.
Who designs your? Who comes up with it? Like what? Because y'all will come up with like, is it like they'll take one of your like tweet diamonds and be like T-shirt, or like how does it? What? Tell me. Does it? You?
It's me. I do it.
Fire.
I love it.
Remember when you wore that people over profit shirt and people got mad?
Oh, was that a debate?
Yeah, I love that. I don't understand why people got mad.
Oh my gosh, I
It's
posted.
insane why people get it. It makes no sense why people get mad. I'm like, what part do I have to explain to you? That's like basic humanity.
It was
People over
wild,
profit.
and it was one of those like, I post the picture, and it was that when it was election season.
Mm-hmm.
And it was my post of like, hey, everybody, go vote. And I didn't say who to vote for or anything like that.
I remember that.
I just say,
You
everybody,
have
go
the vote
vote.
sticker and the
Yes.
people over profit. I remember because
And that's it.
it.
And
Yeah.
oh my gosh, it was like a whole thread of just arguing and debating. And it went on for like months. People would find that post and come back to it. And I'm like, how did something as this, people value people more than you value money, becomes debatable? Oh
It's
my
wild.
gosh.
Yeah,
Anyways,
it's wild.
your guys' merch, I love wearing my sweater, love thy neighbor,
Thank
and
you.
then the example of all the neighbors that
Yeah,
Christians
that's right.
typically
That's the
don't
one
love.
over here. Yeah. We got that one over here.
Oh, that's my favorite.
Be rocking it, bro. Be rocking it.
Yeah. So your guys' merch is fire. And so all of the profits of that merch goes towards your nonprofit.
I'm literally gonna
Show us.
So this is a container, which we're doing homes in containers like this, like
Smart.
shipping containers.
Yep.
Love.
And that's where I'm sitting. And then let's see if I can go out. We do hydroponic gardening, which that becomes like lettuce and whatever that we then take to this kitchen right here, La Cocina Social. We're cooking about 168 lunches that we deliver to the community all over here in the town of Vega Alta, Vega Baja.
Wow.
We got our own solar panels, so we're fully running on solar because, as you notice, it's not a reliable system. We got our own well. We got a house there that was donated by Kyle Korver, NBA player, showed up because of the merch, showed up to the campus. I love what you're doing. Tell me about your dream. I'm like, I dream of owning that house so that our guests can stay there. And then he paid for it.
Wow.
You know, stuff like that happens. And so, yeah, we have like 7-acre farm, which we're farming right now, and literally harvesting food that's here in the community. We've created 19 jobs. There's 19 of us here. Farmers and cooks, and half of them are 60 plus because, again, we're in an elderly community. Most of the young people in Puerto Rico have left. And the elderly in Puerto Rico, los abuelitos, are also like, I'm fine. You go to the States and go make money. I'm okay. And they're not, but they're not okay. And so we're building houses. We're feeding them. Again, going through the dignity checklist, social workers on staff that visit every family. How can everybody has everything that we believe should be a dignified way of living. Friends and good rest and good food. And so
and all of that funded by the Happy Givers.
80% of all our funding comes from the 5 jobs that we've created. The printing is done here. Shipping is done here. Customer service is done here. Designs are done here. We're literally, I got to go back out so you can see. We're literally working with like local artists who are doing murals all around our community.
Beautiful.
And, you know, everything that we do to support the local community. Who are the young people, entrepreneurs that we can, you know, kind of help support, help them launch their businesses here? Who are the grandparents that are really struggling? How can we love them where they are, serve them, empower them, give them a dignified life? So yeah, the shirts, and this is going back to the church world, I didn't want to just beg for donations because I found myself, you almost like create a crisis and then you spiritualize that crisis in order to ask for money for that really spiritual thing that needs to be solved.
Yeah.
And I wanted to not be part of that. So we started the Happy Givers 100% as an apparel company that would fund nonprofit work. And then we found ourselves then starting the nonprofit. And so we funded a children's home in Peru. We funded a children's home in Ethiopia where our daughter was born. And now we're doing all the work that we're doing here, community farming, social kitchen, rebuilding of homes. And the money coming mostly from us really helps us not be, you know, I have to change the theology so that this big donor is not offended.
Yeah.
And I have to change the way we use the money so that this politician feels really happy with the photo of the, you know? So we eliminate a lot of that temptation to accommodate the wrong things. We eliminate the temptation to go back to our South Stars, to all the different no's that we already said we're not going
say
back
that.
to. And so
I love that.
focused. Yeah.
So for everybody listening, y'all, the happy givers, man, if you want to give and donate, that would be amazing for you to do it. We'll put
Go
the
buy
link.
yourself a fire shirt or a
Yeah.
fire
Yes.
hoodie.
Do it.
Do that and
We'll put the link in the
let that
description.
be spreading the word. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I'm glad because I'm glad to know that it's a nonprofit, so me and Ange could talk about helping out too and sending some
Come on.
stuff your way. And we do
Absolutely.
really, really want to come to Puerto Rico. Yeah.
That house is, we'll put you up in the house, Airbnb. We're 5 minutes from one of the most gorgeous beaches in Puerto Rico called Puerto Nuevo. One of our farmers is Bad Bunny's cousin, so we're praying for Bad Bunny to show up soon.
Let's go, Bad Bunny.
He was a bagger 2 minutes from our campus. There's an Econo, which is like a local supermarket. That's where he was a bagger doing SoundCloud music. He's from our community.
Wow,
we have a lot of like well-known baseball players from our community. It's a beautiful, like thriving, creative place. It's just full of poverty, 30-something% unemployment rate. It's, the system is not working for us.
Right.
And so we're trying to rewrite that for our community, with our community, not for our community, but with our community for sure.
Yeah.
Sounds like a great place that once we have our daughter to come and bring her.
I'll do all the babysitting. I'll do it all.
We're putting her to work.
The yellow poop, the green poop, the brown poop.
We're going to put her to work. She's going to be barely taking 5 steps. I mean, you need to take 5 steps towards that lettuce and go pick you some lettuce right now for the kitchen, please.
You would love it. That's so lovely.
I love it, man. Bro, thank you so much for taking time out to just be with us, man. I appreciate it. And guys, again, check out the Happy Givers, and we'll put the link in the description, and subscribe. Do all the things that you do. Share this if it spoke to you. Share this with a friend, so that more people can find out about this. But we always say we pray you find a seat at the table, but if you don't, you are always welcome at ours. Cheers.